Darwin was a trip I took towards the end of my study abroad experience from June 5th to 13th. I went to Litchfield University in Melbourne, where I met one of my friends, Chris Hoffman. He's from Pennsylvania, big Penguins fan, and he likes oysters. Gross. I met Chris on my 12 Apostles orientation trip, and from there we became travel buddies. Before we left Australia, we wanted to visit the Outback. We found time in between our final schedules to plan an 8-day trip to Darwin, the capital of the Northern Territory. I booked the flights, Chris booked the hotels, and we were good to go. One day. We went exploring, but my SD card decided it was a good time to stop recording. We went to the Parliament House, and somewhere between the security checkpoint and walking around the house, I had lost my sunglasses. Great start to the trip. 0 for 2. There were many road bumps we ran into during the trip. One, we were too young to rent cars, so we did a lot of walking. If we wanted to get the fudge out of Darwin, we needed to hire a taxi or go on a tour bus, which ran into our second variable, our budget. And third, Darwin was a resort town. People come to Darwin to go to the national parks, not to stay in town. There wasn't a lot to do, and we were there for 4 days. Boy! So instead of sitting duck, we did the Darwin touristy stuff we could think of. And we managed to get our steps in at the same time. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! Thankfully, Chris had gotten new sneakers the week before, so they were fresh and ready for the sandy landscape.
First wildlife resort, check. It's like on a direct course. It's like boomeranged around it.
Yeah. Following our 2 days of the touristy fest, I was excited to get out of Darwin and experience the Outback. We had checked into our new hotel that day called the U Shack, a loud, cheap, busy youth hostel in the heart of Darwin. The perfect place for a 6 a.m. Outback trip wake-up call. 6 a.m., I managed to get some sleep after the screeching announcements of bingo numbers being called at 12 a.m. So we're here.
We got falls on falls on falls lined up.
Oh, which falls are we visiting right now?
Florence. We saw Wangi earlier.
Wangi was dope.
Yeah, Wangi was a double fall.
We are here at the Beauty Rock Hole. If you head down this top path, you'll be going at the top of all the rock holes, so you can work your way down and figure out which one you want to swim in and just chill by a waterfall. It's beautiful. If you walk along the Florence Creek walk to Florence Falls, I'm going to be setting up lunch kind of at the end of the walk. And then I'll get you all organised in your tents, and then we'll get your bags off the bus, and then we'll just relax. Tonight's dinner, we're having a chicken stir.
Chris, tell us about a room tour.
Have you ever seen a bed in a tent? No, I haven't either.
So we got these incense we're gonna burn for keeping the bugs away. So we light this and it just goes around the whole night, and hopefully it doesn't burn our tent out. So yeah.
Light them up.
I did it. We woke up the next day at 7, got some brekkie, refilled our water. Wait, hold the phone. I forgot to mention that Tony, 4-time Pro Bowler Romo, was on our Outback tour. He had lost a couple pounds and he'd shrunk a bit, but I tried asking him for his autograph during the tour, but I couldn't understand him because he was speaking Italian. Good talk. Anyways, back to the first activity of the day, the Yellow River Cruise.
My favorite color. That means... Look at my dad's feet. He's got really big, I don't know the word, not fingers, but pointy things coming out of his feet. So that's what he uses to not fall into the water. They'll open their mouth so this one at the moment must be feeling a little bit hot, so it gets the heat out.
Did you know that female crocs will compete for territory? We saw one female croc getting a little too close to another one's spot on the riverbank.
Oh, his nose is just sticking out.
Oh, I see the snout. Yeah, good spotting.
After that, we visited our first indigenous art site of the trip at Noralangi Rock. Aboriginal Australians would create petroglyphs to tell stories that are important to their culture. Petroglyphs drawn in white ink are called contact art, while some drawings instruct certain ceremonies.
It's coming on. Beer? Yeah. That in the sunset there is gonna be unreal.
At O'Beer, we spotted the Tasmanian tiger petroglyph that was created 2,000 to 3,000 years ago.
Check it out. Sunglasses on for these. Oh, this is an Australian sunset.
Yeah. So we got some suspect spider webs up in this corner where I'm sleeping.
Really? Oh,
Our final stop on the Outback journey was Jim Jim Falls. We had a 20-minute hike in which we navigated boulders the size of my mom's GMC van. Luckily, we had made it to the falls at the right time.
Now, it just did actually recently open yesterday, so there is still a chance that you might have some freshwater crocodiles in the pool. Don't stress, so freshwater, if you don't annoy it, it won't annoy you.
I wouldn't let the possibility of a croc attack hold me back from swimming to the falls. We dried up and got ready for the journey back to Darwin. So we're staying at this hostel called Chili's Backpackers.
Hi, welcome to Chili's.
What do you have to say about the room?
You know, price-wise, economy-wise, you get a lot out of it. We got a TV, we never used it. Mattresses were comfy. People weren't raging. The only thing that woke me up were trash trucks, but it's all part of the street game.
Got our cocaine.
Cocaine, it's a good waste of good cocaine, you know?
Finished a load of laundry and went out to our third viewing of crocs.
Thank you. Enjoy the cruise.
Thank you. You ready?
Yeah, ready for some jumping crocodiles. Let's go.
Yeah. Jumpin', and boys up to something.
If a big croc like this attacks you, all you have to do is crush your skull. Most powerful jaws on earth. Smaller crocs may not have the jaw power, so they might grab you and roll you underwater about 3 times a second, like being in a washing machine.
One might think this is cruel, but we're actually teasing the crocs. It gives them a bit of a workout here. Just giving them the meat would cause them to be lazy and rely on humans to provide their main food source. For example, this one, very lazy. On our way back to the dock, our tour guides turned on the eagles and started tossing meat to the kite birds. It was pretty sick. The next day we had brekkie at Salvador's Cafe. We had no plans and didn't want to spend the day on our butts.
Today? I hope so. Today?
So 1 to 5.
At the wharf. Perfect.
After searching, we settled on a 4-hour fishing trip around the Bay of Darwin. It was a tough day out on the bay trying to catch barramundi, but after what felt like days, we both caught a fish.
So that is known as a batfish or a moonfish.
That's our fish.
This is the fish I caught. We split it in two, so Chris got some, I get some.
That fish got sacrificed as bait, sadly. Thought it was a good photo op. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice a little fish for the big fish, you know? It's the way of life, the circle of life. But
So it's our final day in Darwin today. Today's kind of like our shopping day.
I shopped a lot. I went hard in the paint.
Very, very hot day outside. It's like 90 degrees. Chris is finishing up in one of his assignments for school, and I'm just relaxing, editing video. It's pretty solid. Good day to reflect on our trip. We made our final call to Darwin radio taxi, and we were on our way home. Our trip in Darwin could be described as a bell curve. The highest point on the bell represents our high of our adventure in the outback during the middle of our week. Despite our beginning and ending not being planned well, I knew that our experience in Darwin was something special.
Thank you.
Whether it was the fact we were in the furthest city away from Melbourne, or even being further away from my American home, that it was my final trip with my new friend and travel buddy. As the days came and went, I was able to pause and accept the beauty of the Northern Territory. The opportunity I got to explore and immerse myself in a new culture, a new place, and a new experience is one I will never forget.